Jordan has lost nothing. He hasn't lost his will, he hasn't lost his title, and he has not lost his ability to amaze. In scoring 45 in Chicago's series clincher Sunday, the 35-year-old Jordan became the oldest player to score 40 points in a playoff game. He broke his own record, and his airness accounted for more than 50% of the Bulls' points in the finals. That's never happened since the shot clock's invention. The greatest player in the world, Michael Jordan, for the second straight week, for the 9th time overall, the subject of our conversation on Sunday. He spoke with Dan Patrick.
Well, if this is indeed the end of his career, it'll probably be remembered as repeating and rewriting history. Michael Jordan, we're running out of ways to describe you, you know that? And it's supposed to be our job to come up with adjectives. How would you describe your performance?
Just a desire to win. We didn't have our full team. Some guys were not playing the type of basketball they wanted to play. And we just gutted it out. My leadership out there from an offensive standpoint was a big key. They believed in me and I believed in myself. And, they kept giving us opportunities. We should have been blown out of that game because we didn't have but one premier scorer out there on the basketball court. And, Tony could give us something here and there. But other than that, we were patching up loose ends, and holes. And they never really took advantage of it. And down the stretch, I just felt like we still had an opportunity to win this game.
Well, I like what you said at halftime. You told your guys, look, we're close. Just stay close. And you had a feeling that something would happen.
Who told you that?
I was in there.
I came in at halftime, and we were only 4 points down maybe, and no one played well. I mean, I shot the ball well, and I didn't have a choice but to shoot the ball, but we still had a chance. All we had to do was come out the second half. Same scenario in Chicago with Utah. We had a 4-point lead. They came out and changed the game around the third quarter. And we just kept picking at them until we got a chance, and they turned the ball over and gave us more opportunities, and we capitalized.
Were you disappointed or upset that you couldn't close this out in Chicago? I mean, that was the perfect scenario. You're right off into the sunset in a victory parade, and you had to blow it and had to come out to Salt Lake City.
Well, it's tough. It's tough to win in Chicago. Yeah, we would love to win it in Chicago, but for whatever reason on the road, you have a sense of united feelings and unity, and I knew when we came on the road we had a better chance of winning this game than to win it in Chicago because you had a lot more distractions. They had to deal with the distractions. We had to focus on the game.
Did it ever enter your mind that when you saw Scotty in pain, we don't want to go to a Game 7 here in Salt Lake City?
I thought about it for a quick second, and when Scotty was out and I didn't know if he was going to come back and play, the competitor in me said, well, that means I got to take over a couple more jobs, and I wasn't walking away from it. I looked at it as a challenge, but, I looked at it in the sense that, don't waste too much energy. Make sure you try to keep everybody involved so that they feel like they're part of the team. And if I have to count on them, if I have to pass it to Steve Kerr in the closing minutes, he can have some rhythm to make the shot. So it was a real touchy line there, not to try to take over too much of the game and keep everybody involved.
I noticed your hand. You had that shooter's hand after you hit the jumper on Russell. We used to do that in high school.
Well, if you look at all my jump shots up to that point, everything was short, and I was pulling on it. That time I made sure that I followed, and I stuck with it a little bit longer, and it made things happen.
Could you possibly even entertain the thought of retiring without winning the final game of the season?
I don't want to think that way. I want to think that, if whenever I choose to quit, that, I'm leaving when we're winning and not when we're losing,
But you couldn't walk off the floor having lost your last game, could you? The competitor in you, could you?
I could, because I have so many successes to have memories over, so I'm not afraid of that, I couldn't walk away from the game with people saying, well, he stayed a year too long.
Did you feel old out there at any time?
No. I felt good out there. When I'm out there, I feel good, and the adrenaline is pumping. I feel 25. I may look 35, but I feel 25.
Michael, it's been a pleasure to cover you. I get paid to do this, too. It's been a joy to watch you. And if you got some adjectives to describe you, if you come back next year, give me a call. All
Good
right.
luck on the baby.
Thank you. Thank you. Let's go back to the studio.
Guys, thanks very much. How eerie is this? We're ready for Rod Serling to step out here in any minute. Michael Jordan's numbers in his last 2 finals clinching games are nearly identical. In the 97 Game 6 as well as Sunday, Jordan played the same amount of minutes, had the exact same shooting numbers from the field, shot the same percentage from the foul line, and yes, had the game-high point total in each game. Except last year in the series clincher, he scored 39. This year, number 23 hit for his other uniform number, 45. Kenny.